Let's dive right into the pool and bring him in. Our good friend, Sportsnet's Arash Madani, one of Canada's top reporters. You see that beside his name all the time. Joining us today from the Big Smoke. How you doing, Arash?
I'm doing well, Rod. I don't understand. How do you pick the field goal?
Okay, that is jumping right into the deep end. Matt, that was raising the white flag, was it not, at the end of that game? I thought it was.
I just don't understand it, Rod. I mean, I've gone over it. I've thought about it. It's not the reason that, Green Bay lost the game. The touchdown of Scotty Miller right before the half, brutal, terrible coaching. 3 Tom Brady second half picks. Green Bay gets 6 points off of it. That's usually when number 12 in that he who shall not be named usually puts his foot on the gas pedal. But Rod, you need a touchdown. Even after kicking the field goal, you still need a touchdown. So why not go for it? Why not have a 3rd and a 4th down play? And even if you don't get it, you pin Tampa, whose offense has sputtered for the entire second half, inside their own 10-yard line, and you still have 4 timeouts with a 2-minute warning. It makes no sense.
Straight coach speak in the news conference after for Matt LaFleur when he said, I regret it because it didn't work. Kind of sounded a little Kevin Cash-esque. They all say the same thing when it doesn't work.
What else is he going to say? I thought Rodgers threw his coach under the bus. It was so fascinating because Rodgers said, I made the play call on 3rd down. And he said, I didn't think if I ran it, I was going to get there because JPP was chasing him down. But he said, if I knew we were going to kick the field goal on 4th, he said, I thought we had 4 downs to work with. Maybe I changed my mind. What if Belichick, Roddy, always talks about situational football. The Packers were awful in situational football.
There's no doubt. So Super Bowl 55, you would normally be at it. I can't assume that you're going this year with the COVID situation, and which is a shame, by the way, because what a story this is, Chiefs, Bucks in Tampa.
Yeah, I saw something today. Let me just bring this up, Roddy, because I thought this really captured it well. Brady versus Mahomes in 2002. Tom was 24, Patrick was 6. Tom already had a Super Bowl title under his belt, and Patrick was in kindergarten. So without going too far down the rabbit hole, if KC had their 2 tackles, Eric Fisher out with an Achilles, and they've been without Osemele for most of the season. But we saw yesterday, losing David Bakhtiari finally caught up with Green Bay. JPP first, and then Shaq Barrett just brought pressure. And if not for those injuries to the tackles, I would say KC by 3 or 4 scores in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that's not the case, and I've got Tom and the Bucks by 7. That's my prediction on that. Do you have a quick one before I move on?
Still KC by 3 scores.
Okay, which is what it is. 3.5, I think, this morning, or even last night they were installed. Listen, our staff around here is a bunch of young men. Here's what they were all excited about. Arash interviewed Conor McGregor.
Right.
What was that like?
Roddy, I have been doing this for a long time, as have you. You interview people every day. I can't remember a better showman and a better marketer that I've encountered than Conor McGregor. I mean, he absolutely sells the sizzle and understands the whole shooting match, what he's there for. UFC 257 from Saturday night was on track to be the 2nd largest pay-per-view buy in UFC history. It was about to be a top 3 or top 4 combat pay-per-view of the 2000s. McGregor understands exactly what he's doing in these interviews, and he brings it. And that was really neat. I'm not an MMA guy. I felt like I was back in college cramming for a final exam the night before interviewing Conor for 8 or 9 hours digging into his deal. But he's an awesome interview.
Well, did you find yourself pulling for him Saturday night, by the way, which the pundits expected a 30 to 60-second knockout for McGregor, and he ends up being knocked out in the second round by Poirier?
Well, I may have made an investment opportunity of McGregor to win in the first round at plus 160. So I was, after the first round when he didn't win, didn't matter to me. No cheering in the press box.
Good. You're a pro. That's why you're a pro. One of the reasons. Hey, so the guys were telling me you have some strong thoughts on Milanovic bolting Edmonton potentially for the Indianapolis Colts. What are your thoughts on this morning's news on that?
Well, if it happens, and who knows what's going to shake down, my immediate thought is, who's going to be the quarterback in Indianapolis? Philip Rivers just retired. Number two is what happens in Edmonton if he goes. Now, the logical choice, if you want to hire a football coach in late January with, a lot of the positions full now, the logical choice is Chris Jones in Edmonton. But is Brock Sunderland going to hire Chris Jones? I don't see that happening. Rod, if I'm looking into my crystal ball and I said, okay, who may Brock Sunderland hire? I don't know if he's interested in it. I'm assuming he would be. But remember Jamie Elizondo? He was the offensive coordinator in Ottawa when Sunderland was with the Red Blacks, went with Trestman to Tampa Bay with the XFL. I actually messaged Elizondo today. Just before coming on, I haven't received a reply. But Elizondo, the last I heard, was in the finance industry in San Diego with Northwestern Mutual. So I don't know what's going to happen, what's going to shake down. But if I were to say who I would hire, it'd be Chris Jones. Who I think Brock Sunderland would target, it's Jamie Elizondo. And what does that mean for the rest of the coaching staff? Does that mean Edmonton may have a couple of more coaches because they're paying Milanovic so much? Yeah, football. You just never know.
No, and I'm less as concerned for Edmonton. There's far more coaches than there are jobs. There's good guys out there, and I was thinking of Elizondo this morning, as a matter of fact, because when the XFL went bankrupt, he was out of a job. So, yeah, very quality candidate there. By the way, Mo Egger coming up from ESPN 1530 Cincinnati, my new bud. I can't wait for this. But you've done tell me what you're doing to recognize the 1-year anniversary of the tragic instances with the Bryant family. I saw a portion of your, what would I call it, a video essay? What have you put together here, Arash?
Yeah, I think tomorrow there's going to be a lot that is going to be said and posted and memories of Kobe Bryant, of what happened a year ago. Remember, the helicopter crash happened on the eve of Super Bowl week. I had just landed in Miami. The next day was going to be media night when the tragic news came. And Roddy, Kobe won an Academy Award for a short film called Dear Basketball. And so when we were thinking about some different ideas and some different things on how to commemorate the 1 year of this happening, I thought to myself, well, Dear Basketball, how about Dear Gianna? Gianna, Kobe's daughter, Gianna, who was on her way to a basketball game with her dad and some teammates and teammates' parents. There were 9 people who died that Sunday morning in California in that helicopter crash. And looking at it through the lens of what a year it's been. COVID, social justice, civil rights, a polarizing election, the WNBA taking a lead. You think about how important the WNBA players who Gianna looked up to were to the entire social justice movement and having arenas across America open up as polling stations for the U.S. election. So through all of that and the loss of not only Gianna and her teammates, just young women who wanted to play ball, and the WNBA paid tribute to them at their draft. There's an advocacy award in Gianna and Kobe's name. So it's up on sportsnet.ca. It's up on my personal Instagram page, and it's going to be all over Sportsnet Central tonight. It was on the Raptors pregame show yesterday. It's a 4-minute video entitled Dear Gianna.
Good for you. Wow, that sends shivers through me just thinking about it. I will be checking it out. And as you know, I'm a regular viewer of Sportsnet Connected. And hey, lastly, before I let you go, big opening on Sportsnet's Tim and Sid last week. Sid Cicero leaving the program to go to Breakfast Television in Toronto. I've put your name forth. You're welcome. For Tim and Arash.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see that? Well,
Yes, it.
so I said, but Arash loves his frequent travel miles. He loves LAX. He loves all the plum assignments that you get traveling across the continent. This couldn't have been easy for Sid. You're so close to those guys. You've co-hosted on many occasions. This is big news.
Yeah, it's very big news, and I'm thrilled for Sid. What an opportunity for him, and he was with the Score. We were all with the Score together, and now it's Sportsnet, and now he's headed over to City across the street. It's funny, Rod, you say LAX. God, feels like a million years ago that I was last on a plane. And I remember doing a hit with you on this show from LAX after the Nationals beat the Dodgers. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm thrilled for Sid. It's going to be interesting because right after I finish with you, I'm actually at work. I'm heading downstairs to the Tim and Sid studios. We've been doing film study segments with Jordan Palmer, a quarterback consultant who's working with Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson. We're doing our film study in that studio. And on Thursday or Friday, the last time I was in there, I'm like, man, they're going to have to do something about this studio. It's no longer Tim and Sid. So I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows what the sports world is going to be? Who knows how we're going to cover things coming out of the pandemic after COVID? I like being where the action is. There's no question. I like being at fields. I like being by the court, by the ice, at stadiums, at arenas. But, Roddy, you know how this crazy business goes. Expect the unexpected, right?
That's why I wear this bracelet that says one day at a time. As you know,
Yeah.
It works. It works. Sir, all the best in 2021. Can't wait to see your piece. And thanks for the time.
Always great. Thanks, Roddy.
Sportsnet's Arash Madani checking in from the Sportsnet studios in downtown Toronto.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.